Have you ever wanted something so badly, made the perfect plan, created expectations, and imagined your life after getting it, only to be paralyzed by fear before taking the first step? Today, we're seeing a silent epidemic of people paralyzed by fear. Fear of starting a business, fear of not being accepted, fear of talking to someone they admire and being rejected. I could list countless scenarios, but the bottom line is, people are being dominated by fear. But what if I told you there's a set of rules, written over 400 years ago, that can help you overcome this? His name was Miyamoto Musashi. You might have heard of him. He was the greatest swordsman in Japanese history, a ronin with over 60 duels and 0 losses. But here's what few people know. A week before he died, secluded in a cave, he wrote 21 rules that aren't about swords or combat. They're about defeating the greatest enemy we all face every day, our own fear. These rules are found in a text called the Dakodo, which means the path of walking alone. When you understand what he truly meant, your relationship with fear changes forever. Think about it. What would your life be like if you had the courage to pursue all your goals without being paralyzed by what others might think? Musashi spent his life studying how to defeat not just physical enemies, but internal ones too. And he discovered something revolutionary. Fear isn't something you need to fight. It's something you need to understand. Before we dive in, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. What would you do right now if you had no fear at all? Your interaction helps this channel reach more people. Now, let's start with a simple question. What exactly is fear? Modern neuroscience tells us it's an evolutionary response to protect us from danger. Makes sense, right? Our ancestors needed fear to survive. The problem is, you don't live in the jungle anymore, but your brain still acts like it. That presentation at work won't kill you. Talking to that person you admire won't kill you. Starting that dream project won't kill you. Musashi realized this 400 years ago, and he developed a practical system to reprogram this primitive response. His first rule seems simple, but it's profound. Don't go against the path of humanity. In other words, stop fighting human nature and start flowing with it. Fear is part of being human. The difference is how you respond to it. The second rule breaks everything you think about motivation. Don't seek pleasure for its own sake. Why? Because when you only seek pleasure, you automatically develop an aversion to pain. Ever notice how people addicted to comfort have more anxiety? They've created a life where any discomfort feels like a giant threat. Musashi teaches the opposite. Accept discomfort as a natural part of life. Musashi's third rule is where things get really interesting. Don't rely on partial feelings. This means stop making decisions based solely on what you're feeling right now. Think about the last time you were afraid of doing something important. That knot in your stomach, your racing heart, your mind screaming, don't risk it. Now tell me, were those feelings reality, or just a projection of what might happen? Musashi found that most of our fears have no basis in reality. They're just stories we tell ourselves. The fourth rule nips this anxiety in the bud. Think lightly about yourself and deeply about the world. Translation: stop being the main character in your own mental horror movie. When you're afraid, you're always imagining scenarios where you're rejected or humiliated. You're always at the center. But the truth is, people are too busy with their own lives to judge your every move. The fifth rule is radical. Have no desires throughout your life. It doesn't mean you can't want things. It means don't let your desires control you. Because when a desire controls you, you automatically fear not being able to fulfill it. You want something so badly you become paralyzed by the fear of trying and failing. Musashi teaches us to have goals, but don't become a slave to them. Act without being attached to the outcome. Musashi's sixth rule is transformative. Do not regret your actions. Most people are paralyzed by fear because they carry a graveyard of past regrets. Every what if becomes a chain holding you back. You fail, you regret it, and that regret creates more fear of trying again. Musashi breaks this cycle. Make your decisions based on the information you have now. Execute with full commitment. Accept the consequences without regret. Learn and move on. The seventh rule completes this. Never be envious of others. Envy is fear in disguise. Fear of not being good enough, of falling behind. When you feel jealous, you're comparing your real life to someone else's edited version. It makes no sense and only fuels your insecurity. The eighth rule goes against modern society. Never let yourself be saddened by separation. It doesn't mean being insensitive. It means don't be afraid of losing people or situations, because this fear prevents you from living fully. Musashi teaches us to accept that everything is temporary. When you internalize this, You stop living in protection mode and start living in exploration mode. Now, a Stanford researcher spent 15 years studying fear and found that our brains react identically to real and imagined fear. This validates what Musashi discovered centuries ago. His rules 9 through 12 are a system for reprogramming these automatic responses. Resentment keeps your nervous system in a constant state of alert, like a fire alarm that's always on. The 10th rule: don't be guided by feelings of lust or love. Musashi isn't saying not to love. He's saying don't let these emotions completely control you. When you do, you fear losing them. The 11th rule is liberating. In all things, have no preferences. When you have rigid preferences, any deviation from the script is seen as a threat. Mental flexibility is the natural antidote to anxiety. Musashi's next rules strike at the root of modern fear: material attachment. Rule 12: do not covet a private residence. When you tie your security to possessions, you automatically fear losing them. Behavioral economists found that people who define success by material things report higher levels of anxiety. Rule 13: don't seek delicious flavors. This is about not becoming addicted to immediate pleasures. Every addiction breeds dependence, and every dependence breeds fear of withdrawal. Rules 14 and 15 complete this: do not possess old objects, and do not desire more food than is necessary. The pattern is clear. Live simply to avoid creating vulnerabilities that fear can use against you. And now, how these rules apply in the modern world. Rule 16 is revolutionary. Do not act according to ancient customs. The fear of not fitting in loses its power when you realize the mold was created by other people, for other people. Rule 17. Do not collect weapons beyond their usefulness. In the modern world, don't accumulate skills or certifications out of insecurity. Using learning to procrastinate on real action is just fear disguised as productivity. Rule 18 is the most direct. On the way, death is not to be feared. This isn't about being reckless. It's about accepting that life ends. This acceptance frees you from the paralyzing fear of living. When you truly internalize that you're going to die, many small fears lose their meaning. Musashi's last 3 rules challenge what you think about safety. Rule 19. Do not seek property for your old age. The more you fixate on the future, the more you fear the present. Rule 20. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. Have faith, but don't use spirituality as an excuse for inaction. Fear disguised as putting it in God's hands is often just a way to avoid responsibility. And finally, Rule 21 sums it all up. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Your reputation and possessions can be lost, but your integrity, your values, these are what truly define you. When you live by your values, the fear of others' opinions disappears. So here's the truth Musashi wanted you to understand. Fear will never completely disappear. The difference between those who live fully and those who just survive isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to act even when fear is present. Each of these rules transforms your relationship with it. Instead of an enemy, fear becomes information. Instead of running from discomfort, you learn to navigate it. Musashi's life proves this. He learned to dance with fear instead of being paralyzed by it. The question is, will you continue to be controlled by your fears, or will you use these teachings to finally live the life you desire? If you enjoyed this, I invite you to watch the next video on your screen. I'm sure it can help you. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.